Ooh. And LSF thread. Yes. Designates people who say they are struggling to find a job in America after college are lying. Okay. How many stats are going to be linked? How many job reports are going to be linked? How many anything is going to be linked? Or is it all going to be, I have a friend and he couldn't find a job, or I can't find a job. Let's go. Or just rich out of touch streamer. Let's go. Oh, out of touch rich person. Based. Someone who hasn't worked in a decade plus as no trees exist. Based. Why do streamers without degrees think they have a say in the regular folks' dilemmas? Streamers being out of touch with reality is always so cringe. Based. Would a streamer with a degree have a say in the regular folks' dilemmas? It definitely add a little bit more weight. Why? They're still streaming. It's not like they had a job with their degree. He hasn't practiced in 10 plus years, so whatever he says is irrelevant to the working class. Practice? Like you practice music? Like a law degree? What an idiotic take, dumbass take. I claim Destiny is as smart as a well-articulated piece of bread. Wasn't he a carpet cleaner? LOL. What the fuck would he know? Lil bro runs a vacuum. What a dumbass. Oh, finally. Okay. 20 comments down and we get 30. Okay. How people are watch Destiny and unironically thinks he has good takes is baffling. 38% of hiring managers state they don't hire recently graduates, and the number of kids who are underemployed, meaning they're working jobs below their skills, increased to 40%. I don't know what this first number is supposed to prove. Depending on the type of job you're hiring for, it wouldn't surprise me if you don't hire a recent graduate. It just depends. I don't know what this is sourced from. Underemployment, recent grads, 40%. The Miami Times. And there's performing arts and art history. I get it. These fields are full of passion and creativity, but unfortunately, passion doesn't always pay the bills. Graduates in these areas face unemployment rates of 65.9% and 60.3% respectively. It's not that easy. It's not that these degrees are worthless, but the job market is tough. Competition is fierce. Early career wages hover around $38,000 to $41,000, which is tough to live on, especially if you have student loans. Here are some fun facts. Underemployment means to work in a job that typically doesn't require a college degree. Oh, I've never even heard this one before. Underemployment means to work in a job that typically doesn't require a college degree. What does that even mean? I wonder how that's quantified. As of May 2024, about 40% of recent college grads were underemployed. The majors with the highest levels of underemployment are criminal justice, performing arts, and art history. Okay. Employment for higher education has been trending down, especially in the information sector. Okay. I wonder where they sourced this from. A recent study by Degree Choices. Examples of underemployment jobs: low-skilled service, arts and entertainment, information processing and business support, healthcare technicians and assistants. Jobs that do not usually need a college degree are wide-ranging and not all low-skilled or low-paid. Managers and supervisors. Most of underemployed recent graduates worked in office and administrative support jobs. Like, I guess here's a question. If you worked at, let's say you graduate with a law degree and then you get a job like in a law office and you start like clerking or something, do you need a law degree for that job? I don't think you do. You'd count as underemployed, right? Healthcare technicians and assistants. It's underemployment. Jesus, okay. Underemployment rates. Yeah, like if you got a job in criminal justice, or if you get a degree in criminal justice, and then you went and got a job as a cop, technically you're going to be always underemployed, right? Because you don't need a degree to have that job. I don't like this definition, or I feel like it's kind of a weird definition. Oh, criminal justice is the major with the highest underemployment with a rate of 71.5%, perhaps in part because many positions in law enforcement, such as police officers and detectives, only require a high school diploma. Oh yeah, like this sounds dumb. Also, I'm also curious if Do you think, I wonder if these people get a pay boost if they come in with a degree? I can only speak anecdotally about this. If somebody wants to link a thing, go for it. But like, I've heard enough people tell me that like on their job, that sometimes they get like even tuition reimbursement because if they can work the exact same job, but if they go back to school and they get like an MBA, or if they go back to school and they get a degree, they'll get paid more for basically the same position. I wonder if that's true with like police officers. If you come in, well, do you get paid more, police officer, with criminal justice degree? I don't know, because this, okay, oh, like Reddit, our police. If you do get a good degree, I very strongly recommend you not major in criminal justice. Most of the subject matter is taught in the academy, and if for whatever reason law enforcement doesn't work out, you have a profession to fall back on. Yes, I get paid extra dollars per month for each degree in each foreign language spoken. Boom, there you go. 72. I like cookies. There you go. Mine doesn't. Fuck this guy. He deleted his comment because he was so wrong. Half of the top 10 majors for highest underemployment are in the arts and humanities. These include performing arts, art history, and fine arts, fields where graduates often face intense competition for limited job openings. Some majors high in underemployment are in industries where degrees are less important, like leisure and hospitality. Others are less conducive to securing relevant jobs at the bachelor's level, like business management and history. While STEM degrees are often associated with college-level jobs, life sciences majors are high in underemployment. Yeah, I feel like this list is like, I wonder if this is also, this is probably an average also, not a median, right? Because it's just saying average. So how fucked is this list from, so criminal justice, if you go to school, get a criminal justice degree and then become a cop, you're basically considered underemployed forever based on this number. And then performing arts and art history, are these really like the types of degrees that I would want like weighing a statistic like this? It seems kind of silly, but Jesus. So animal and plant sciences. Animal and plant sciences comes in at number 6. This major has an underemployment rate of 56.3%, but graduates of this degree will be relieved to hear that it has a low unemployment rate at 1.6%. Holy fuck. But if they become a police chief, then they probably aren't underemployed anymore. No, even a police chief would be considered underemployed, right? Because you don't need a degree for the job, right? I don't know. I feel like this is a dumb definition of underemployment. Like all of these things, all of these top 10 things are just like jobs that are like, majors with the lowest underemployment: nursing, special education, computer engineering, elementary education, civil engineering, computer science. But even these unemployment rates also are all like, all of these are below 5%. Some of these are absurdly low. Damn. Industrial engineering, unemployment rate 0.2%. I always thought that underemployment meant that you were not working as many hours as you could. I don't know. I've heard people give different definitions for underemployment. I've heard people define underemployment as you're working the job that you don't want to be working, that's not within your like degree specialty. But this is saying that if you have a job that could have been gotten without a degree at all, this seems like a stupid definition. I don't know. I don't like this. I think it's dumb. He is what stupid people think are smart, so I'm not surprised that a lot of his fans think he only has good takes. Also, you probably missed the Wikipedia article with those stats, so he probably didn't know. I like how this guy calls me a wiki warrior and he doesn't even know where these stats are coming from. Does underemployment have anything to do with wage? No, not that much. The thing that sucks is I feel like when people feel like things are bad in the economy, they start looking for any type of number to justify the feeling. And right now you can't find it in the unemployment stats. Unemployment, you can't justify it. Median wages for degree holders, you can't justify it. So they keep like digging and digging and digging. And now we have this thing called underemployment. And it's like, this must be the thing, underemployment. But like, what is it even defined as? Like, is this even capturing any kind of real economic thing? Like, is this a relevant thing to anything? Like, I don't know. I feel like underemployment is like, I mean, it's a thing that's worth looking at, but I don't think I would ever hang my hat on the economy is fucked because of underemployment. Like, I don't know if that's a thing that matters that much, but I love this fact that doesn't only read Wikipedia articles. Is one, there'd be more research than most other streamers. Two, and two, he almost always reads or tries to read the underlying studies. Oh yeah, I Googled this. What statistic off the top of your head has the most different average and median? I don't know. It would be anything that's skewed heavily towards the top with not very many people involved. Oh God. See, if I took a stats class, I bet there are like classic examples of this. To have a very different median and a very different average, you could either have a heavily or abnormally distributed data set. So like average number of penises per person would be very skewed because the average number of penises per person would be around 0.5 and the median would be 0 because there are more women than men. Average and median, I don't know. I'm sure there's some. Or you would look for things that are skewed heavily by not that many participants and then people who are existing really far at the outliers. Income in the US. I don't know how different the median versus the mean income is. I'm not sure. There are huge outliers, but there are also like a lot of earners. So I don't know how. Mean versus median household income US. I wonder if these are ultra far apart. Okay. Fred, median household income US, mean household income US. Do they even track the mean in this? Oh, it's just average. Mean personal income. And then, okay, nice. Median personal income. Jesus. My shit is fucked. Okay. There's a way to graph these against each other. Is it on edit graph? So in 2023, your median personal income is 42,220 and your mean is 63,510. So it's pulled up by maybe around 40% by outliers. So it's like pulled up quite a bit, but not like as substantially as I think people would think sometimes, but. How do communities engage with such live stream fail like posts without asking everyone for a source aggressively or just being really asked in the comments? Because when people come in and they talk about these things, you have like your kind of your view of the thing and you're just looking for the view. The median was adjusted for inflation. That's why it's so much lower. Wait, what was it? I'm almost positive I didn't have an adjustment for inflation there. You're just looking for people to not seasonally adjusted current dollars. You're just looking for people to reinforce what you already believe. So you don't actually care about. whatever is true or not. Yeah, no, neither of these were adjusted. Current dollar is not seasonally adjusted. Current dollar is not seasonally adjusted. Destiny, the thing that people feel that you're missing altogether is the change in wealth distribution over time. Look up a graph for wealth distribution per quintile, and you'll see the middle class now holds less wealth than the working class. The quintile below the middle class, worse, yeah, the working class. Yeah, but the thing is, it's the inability to build wealth that people feel. I'm sorry, but you don't feel that. You have no idea. You have no intuitive feeling about wealth inequality. You can only go by what the news media tells you. You don't know what Jeff Bezos is doing right now with his time. You don't know what a rich person in Beverly Hills or Miami Beach or fucking New York City is doing right now. You have no idea. How could you ever possibly intuitively feel that wealth inequality unless you're literally living in an area maybe where you witness it, or unless you're seeing like what could you even see personally? I'm sure there are ways to see it personally. So like if you commute to work and you see that like your neighborhood is fucked and the neighborhood that you're driving to is like not fucked, maybe ways like that. But I don't think that you intuitively, or maybe generationally, maybe you can compare it, although even that can get exaggerated. But yeah, I don't think you can intuitively feel that. I think a lot of that is informed by the news that you watch. If inflation outpaced wage growth in a significant way, and only recently did wage growth start to outpace inflation, how long until it's normal? Because all I hear is groceries expensive. Is it not? Is it more complicated? Well, technically, the real wages, meaning adjusted for inflation, have already surpassed their high point before. So real wages should already be higher than they were before. But I mean, how long until people say that? Probably once Trump takes office, the conservatives will all change their pitch on it. And because liberals always follow conservatives with what they talk about, eventually everybody will feel like it's basically not an issue anymore. I'm glad someone pointed this out. Destiny pulls a lot of his information from Wikipedia, which on its face isn't awful for spreading information. If you have previous knowledge, but to tout it as absolute fact, all while collecting money from the same audience is fucking crazy. But isn't it crazy that you're touting this as absolute fact? Like, comparatively speaking, do I even read Wikipedia much on this stream? I feel like that's not even a thing that much. I feel like we usually just like Google around and it's normally news articles and stuff. I don't even think I do much Wikipedia reading on the stream. It's probably quite the minority of information we read compared to everything else. But okay. What else do we have? How is he so out of touch? He's not even that rich. What does being rich have to do with knowing what it's like to get a job for a college degree? Like, I could be broke and have no idea as well, right? Every time a big streamer talks about a 9-to-5 job, it just makes me glad toxic Twitch chats exist. I'm basically convinced the only hardship these fuckers endure in life is someone in chat saying they're mid. This is another middle class take. Enduring hardships in life is having a 9-to-5 job. Okay. This guy says, unemployment rate in the US is 4% right now. You can find a job. It might not be your first choice, and obviously depends on what you study, but 9 out of 10 times you can find a job. Oof. I wonder what his downvotes are at. The semantics defense is so brain dead. People obviously mean they can't find a job in the field they studied for. Not that they can't get a job at an Amazon warehouse to scrape by. Connecticut has some of the highest wealth inequality and is one of the most populated or population-dense states. The capital's median household income is $42K versus Greenwich/Darien, which is $180 to $445K. Maybe for people in his community, they're not having trouble, but for the rest of us, yeah, pretty rough. Pretty rough. What? Some topics are just instant triggers for people. Personally, fuck tech employees, overpaid, lazy, entitled pricks. It ain't just fucking tech graduates struggling to find a job, dipshit. I got a goddamn film degree and competition that struggle to land any kind of job in that field, even after so many applications. Holy shit. Not the film degree majors. This survey says the average starting salary for the class of 2022 is $60,000? No shot. That sounds way too high. Or maybe it's not, I guess, post. (2024) salary projections. Average salaries by discipline / bachelor's degree. Humanity is $68,000? The fuck? What do humanities people do? Motherfuckers. Did you see the survey where Gen Z reported minimum income of $650K as wealthy versus $150K in millennials? No shot. That's not real. I don't believe you. The graph for wealth distribution isn't the thing that people see. It's the evidence for the fact that working / middle class are virtually unable to build wealth. It's not a matter of comparing yourself to Bezos. It's a matter of working 20 years and realizing that you're basically where you started. Just because you're not in that position doesn't mean that 50% of people aren't in that position. I mean, building wealth how, I guess? What's the main driver for building wealth that we're talking about? Because if you're talking about having a home, for instance, like home ownership rates, I think are roughly the same between all the generations. I think that's about what or at least from the, that home buying site, or Redfin, I think is what I saw, is it's about on track for all the generations. So I don't even know what you'd be referring to there. Dude, no one believes you did any of this. Uh-oh. I hate these streamer idiots as much as the new guy. That's based. You should hate streamers. But they can be right on certain things or partially right. Certain sectors can be hard to find jobs you want in, but there are plenty of jobs right now. I graduated with a chem degree, fresh off the recession. I applied to 3 jobs and got accepted to 2. I wasn't even a good candidate for my fresh grad resume with no experience. I was pretty much the same as any of my peers. After I got a job, I dug into things and offered to help some of the classmates to get jobs. Their resumes were complete and utter trash. The prep they did for resumes / interviews was non-existent. None of them used the resume / interview services offered by the university. They weren't tailoring their resume to their job, that and a million other things. Okay, I don't know how true resume issues are. I've been in the industry for 10 years now, and I've interviewed from fresh grads to PhDs for various roles, even masters / PhDs. Don't know how to interview or build resumes. Is this like a real thing? I have no idea. Okay. All right, boy. Don't care. Ground staff removes stairs from the airplane fuselage before making sure everyone was out. Damn. Okay. Why was this person filming? Was this an epic prank? Oh, and it was in my subreddit. Destiny says that it isn't that hard for college grads to get jobs. What am I missing? He was specifically talking about tech jobs just now, but my situation is in finance, and I don't think his opinion would change much. I graduated with my bachelor's in June of 2023 with a dual major in econ and poli-sci. I've applied to probably 1,000 jobs in the finance sector. I've probably only had 10 to 20 interviews from those. I got a certificate in Excel, and I took an accounting course from a local community college to help improve my skills. Wait, what? You graduated with a bachelor's degree, but then you went to a community college to take an accounting course? I wasn't able to get any internship in school, and my only experience right now that is close to professional is being a tax preparer. I've been applying to plenty of places, not in cities across the East Coast. What would I need to do to find these hungry companies looking for someone like me? My only caveat is that I don't want a sales job, but I'm looking for any financial analyst, accounting, compliance jobs, etc. Wait, am I retarded? I'm sorry. Hold on. Just as a quick thing, I don't believe economics has nothing to do with finance. Why would you get a degree in economics and then expect to get hired as like a financial analyst or like an accounting or compliance jobs? Like, are you doing your Series 5 or whether I don't even know what the fuck they're called? Are you doing any accounting work at all or any financial like certifications at all? Getting an econ degree? Like, what do you? Series 7 and 66? Yeah, whatever. For some reason, a lot of econ majors go into finance and accounting. I don't know why or how. Well, I mean, I'm sure you could, but like, I think that would have to be like a move that you would like plan for, right? Like if you would just have a degree in econ, why the fuck would you expect to get hired in finance? Also, 1,000 jobs? 1,000 applications? And he's done over 20 interviews and he hasn't gotten hired? Dude's been out of the regular workforce for 10+ years. I wouldn't listen in for non-political / debate things. Okay, let's go. Let's fucking... Wait, is this account not modded anymore? Hold on, let's throw this up over here. Wait, why do different comments pop up? The fuck? How is it a ban? Because he's not contributing at all. There's no data or information here. This is literally like the whiniest, most like anecdotal, like, oh, he must be out of time. Like, post a link or something, source it. What do you mean? If I'm wrong, post a link. You can't just counter this with my, like, well, this guy is clearly out of touch because my own personal anecdote. And I don't even know personally. Also, I'm not even going to say your personal anecdotes disagree with me because most of the anecdotes you guys end up posting somehow end up agreeing with me, even though you still take the contrary position. Reading your guys' healthcare shit has actually been has exploded my mind. Holy fuck. I think it's just impossible to reconcile with that opinion with the recent mass layoffs in tech. This is another thing that bothers me with like consumers. No, I'm sorry, not consumers, with just average people, okay? Everybody knew. Every single person knew this, all right? Talk to anybody that's worked in tech, not fucking recent grads, like you're 21 years old, you still have acne and you're getting a job. Everybody knew that over COVID and right before COVID, that tech industries were massively overhiring and that it was like a fucking field day for easy money. Everybody was talking about this. Everybody knew it. And everybody knew that at some point it would probably come crashing down. Okay. And there would be a market adjustment. Everybody knew that. Every fucking person knew this. Everybody I talked to that worked at tech knew this. Dude, I knew people without fucking so many crazy amounts of money being offered to people that like Jesus. Okay. Yes, there's going to be a correction. But like now when people are like, oh no, like tech is so fucked, like the mass layoffs, recent mass layoffs. When you say mass layoffs, there aren't mass layoffs like, holy fuck, a tech grad is like 20% unemployed now. It's massive layoffs. Like they went from like 1% unemployment to like 3.5% unemployment. Holy shit. It's almost like they all went to college for this because they knew it was booming. People in 2018 were picking majors because they knew that in 2021 and 2022, there would be massive overhirings in tech. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here, dude. The job market is still great for people in tech. Stop. There is still a ton of demand for these workers. Chances are if you work in tech, you're probably always going to be okay, or at least in the near future, like in the next like 2 decades. Disclaimer, I tepidly agree that the labor market for new grads has gotten a little worse recently, C, but note that the age group is 22 to 27. Personally, I'm not comfortable drawing conclusions from this unless I see unemployment and underemployment rates for new grads within a year. But just in terms of epistemology, i.e. the system we use to understand such rate of knowledge, we shouldn't write off someone's opinion solely because of their personal life. You should try to find the actual data. Wow, thank you. Thank you, sir. I don't even care if this person agrees with me or not. Maybe they can disagree with me. That's fine. Thank you. But at least he linked something. But I think we looked at this earlier on stream. But yeah, it really doesn't look like there are, that the unemployment rate for grads is like worse than it has like historically ever been. It seems like it tracks the ordinary college grad employment rate, like more or less how it always is. Maybe more or less. 1.5. Maybe post-COVID, it's like a little bit higher, but not like egregious. And not enough for people to be saying that like it's fucked. But as an example, if you were given 100 anecdotal / personal stories of new grads who were able to find jobs quickly, would that flip your opinion / nullify OP's point? We should all lie. I'm not emotionally attached to any collision. I just want to be in a community where the discussion / arguments are well thought out. Wow, what a guy. Good for you. This guy is a star poster. Somebody give this guy a fucking medal. Why not hop in the disagreement channel you're implying there's not looking at the numbers? What numbers? The unemployment rate for bachelor's degree holders is 2.2% for new grads. It's still only 5.3%. If you had a job for 18 months with these numbers, you're doing something wrong. That doesn't tell you what kind of job they have. Someone with a degree can flip burgers after months of applying for jobs in their field. Like, it's always the next thing. It's always like, okay, well, it's not unemployment. It's unemployment of recent grads. Okay, well, it's not unemployment of recent grads. It's underemployment of recent grads. And then it's like, okay, well, if we look at the underemployment and it's actually not an issue. Okay, well, it's not underemployment of recent grads. It's like underemployment with like total wealth accumulation plus like whether or not they own a house plus like how many times they have like subscribed to an OnlyFans. Like there's like, it's at least like post-historic data so that we can see if it's out of line of where we'd expect it to be too. Post-historic data, like just like give me a rate, give me a trend, give me a line, give me something. Because it's consensus amongst most of the workforce and recruiters that this job market in general is pretty rough and the worst it's been in 10 years. It's not uncommon right now for new grads to find it really hard to find work in their field, especially for certain industries. So I'm not going to necessarily look to someone who isn't in it right now. If it's so easy and it's so consensus, then just like post a number, post a thing about it. Like it should be easy to find, right? That should be really easy to find, no? That's more for an accountancy style job. Finance is probably the hardest sector to get a job in. That seems like the only place to go if you're an econ major. No? Wait, do you not know? Do you not know what jobs you're even going for after when you have the degree? Do you think this guy's like a freshman? I notice that sometimes you guys grad post. You ever see freshmen who grad post? People will say like, oh, like I'm in college or I have this degree, and it's like, hold on, and you unmask them and it's like, I'm a freshman at this university. I haven't even declared a major yet. And they're grad posting like they're already graduated with the degree and they're like echoing problems that they read on Reddit about it. But econ wasn't even a part of my business school at my university. It was for the people that didn't get into business. Finance majors went into IB, became an FA in finance or other industries, or M&A, consulting in general. Marketing went to marketing or sales, accounting to accounting. Econ might have been people waiting to go to advanced degrees. I don't know what they did. Looking at actuarial work. Yeah, it's called entrepreneurs or whoever, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Hi, OP. I work in finance. I was in the same boat as you when I graduated. Didn't have a job lined up. No fish were biting wherever I applied. I reached out to a recruiting agency that got me some contract work, boring, low-paying stuff, but it's money coming in plus looks better resume. E.g., I did 3 months at a crypto exchange company where I looked at IDs all day, acting as a virtual bouncer. Finally got a temp to perm job, but it wasn't finance. It was just filling out forms all day. The company was good, so I was able to apply internally to a finance position for about 15 months. So I recommend doing what I did. Oh, but you were underemployed. Right now I'm living with my parents, but eventually I want to move. Do you think moving out to a place I'd like to live without a job and trying to find a job through a recruiting firm is a good idea? Often when recruiting firms ask what I'm looking for, I say an analyst in accounting jobs. Should I change my answer to include data entry or something? I think Destiny wants you to move to any state or city that will pay you. My guess going by his other arguments. No, I don't care. Listen, I feel like I can't tell if my positions are really this hard to understand or if people are so emotionally dug in or if it's just people that agree just don't post. If you graduate, if you live in Wisconsin and you graduate with a degree in computer science and you only want a job in LA, I want to move to LA and I want to work there as a programmer. That's the only thing I want to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's fine. More power to you. Listen, I came out of Omaha. Everybody wanted to move to the coast. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But just like be clear with what the complaints are, right? Like you can't say, like if you say like, I'm holding out for a good job here. I really want to find a job in this market. I want to do this. This is tough to find a job like in this place. Then fine, that's fine. But don't be like, I'm completely unemployed. I can't find anything. I'm fucked. My life is over. I can't find any job. It's impossible to find a job right now in this field. No, that's not true. It's way more narrow than that. Just be more focused about like what the complaints are. Otherwise people run around just saying the most insane shit. I have an MED. What the fuck is that? My degree got my foot in the door in a mostly entry-level industry, unrelated to my own, with a lot of upward mobility and events. My team has quite a few grads, finance, nursing, etc. None are comm grads though. Okay. I think that seems really intelligent, so I may not understand the average finance to CS grads. True, I am a fucking genius. Upvotes. See, these are the types of people that are competing for top Destiny.gg LLC positions. I'm just kidding. I'm open to living in more rural places anywhere on the East Coast. I know the coasts are going to be more competitive, but I feel like Destiny's argument is weaker if you have to move 1,000 miles to the center of the country to find any... Wait, what? What does that even mean? This guy's post history is bizarro land. What the fuck? I don't think this person is real. Hold on. I think this is either a freshman or a high school student. My wife is in finance and almost every single person has an MBA and multiple other certifications for FINRA and other bullshit. And then this guy says, I'll admit that I thought an econ major was more similar to a finance major than it actually is. But what is an economics major geared towards, if not getting into finance? Being a professor? How he went through his whole degree and he never... Do you guys have like counselors and shit? I feel like when I went to college, they always like shepherded you towards like, go talk to the counselor, go talk to people who are in this field, go talk to people that have these jobs, talk to the counselor and ask them what the job opportunity. I feel like people, at least when you're signing up, they're always like, go talk to these people to figure out what major is for you or whatever. Did this guy just like sign up to a random fucking major and then he finished all of college and he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Jesus Christ. Based. Okay, I don't know. Wait, what? This has to be a meme survey or something, right? We can't just spend all of our stream time shitting on the proletariat, guys. Gen Z's benchmark for financial success is a 600K salary. There's no way this is real. Many people remain unaware of what Americans are actually earning, often due to the glamorized portrayals of wealth and media and entertainment. While some maintain a realistic grasp on reasonable salary expectations, others, particularly among the younger generation, seem to develop what Gen Z themselves might refer to as a delulu, their slang for delusional ideas about financial success. A recent survey by financial firm Empower has unveiled a startling disconnect. Okay, what is this? Here's what financial success looks like for Americans by the numbers. Salary. No, this can't be real. This has to be a meme survey. Okay. Well, how many people did they survey? Thinking about financial success, how much do you agree/disagree with the following? What has the biggest impact on achieving financial success? Thinking about an annual salary, e.g. the money you earn at a job per year, and an all-in dollar amount, e.g. your overall net worth, how much money would it take for you to be financially successful? Geez, there's no shot. How many people did they survey? Okay, what is this? Somebody said tweet. Oh, this stupid shit. Oh, sorry, fuck, okay. Oh man, I'm not even going to watch this fucking video today. Fuck! The massive downward revisions to jobs data are set to continue. Latest from PHL is early benchmark indicating jobs declined in Q2 of this year, while the initial monthly jobs report estimated gains of 653K. The labor market's strength is a fiction. The adjustment for jobs is always like up and down afterwards. I don't know exactly why. I think we read this at some point in time. I don't remember why, but there's always like an upward and downward adjustments of jobs. Why does it sound like he's about to leave? Because I had to take Nathan to the airport. Get fucked. Blame Nathan. Do you understand why people might think you're out of touch when it comes to topics like this and cumulative inflation? Yeah, it's called an emotional reaction to somebody that is saying something you don't want to hear, so you just like reach to the first thing. If I was a black person, you guys would just call me the N-word, okay? That's how it works. Yeah, you reach to the first thing, the easiest thing, and you go from there. Otherwise, you just link a data point. And you say like, oh, look, this doesn't seem to like align with your lived, or this doesn't seem to like make sense. Pretty normal. What is this?
Assumptions about a tyrannical fuck. That dude is just one of thousands of rulers who pulled the same shit. When you see Genghis Khan conquering all those territories, are you gonna say, oh, he just wants to protect Mongolian speakers? What? Then why would you say the same about Putin? He has all the typical red flags. He's a lifelong ruler who doesn't want to retire ever. That's always the worst sign. And he runs a country that's culturally crazy about expansion. And third, he stole territories from Georgia, another neighboring country, which means he has priors. And he's literally numb to body bags. He doesn't have the slightest psychological discomfort about...
Why was this linked? Asking people to agree with this? Yeah, I think Putin's a pretty bad guy, yeah. I have to admit, I underestimated the tribalism on our side. I thought once people realized that I'm defending left-wing positions in front of right-wing crowds, they would understand that it's not selling out. That's the opposite. But no, most seem to think just the mere act of talking to the other side is an unbearable heresy. Why do people do this? I don't understand how to deal with this. They just lie. This is not what anybody is criticizing you for. Nobody is criticizing you just for talking to the other side. The criticism is because you're not bringing anything up that you even disagree with. Okay. Uh-oh, Laura Loomer fighting with Elon. Telling the truth isn't trolling. Read the room, Elon Musk. You bought your way into MAGA 5 minutes ago after Trump almost had his head blown off in Butler. Remember, when you voted for Biden and propped up Governor Ron DeSantis and you said Trump was too old?
Raped me over 40. My mother had raped me over 40 times in that age range. The details make things even vastly worse. My mother waterboarded me at least 2 or 3 times, or drowning me in the bath. My mom had forced me to rape my own sister, and she had forced the babysitter to rape me. My mom had burned me with scalding water to punish me, hit me in the back with a shovel as a kid. A few memories have really stuck with me, and they required years of EMDRs to clean out. One was my mom beating me over the head with a 1,000-page book. That was her standard move, and she did it hundreds of times. The sound's been locked in my ears as a crack, like...
Why a 1,000-page book? Why would that matter? Would it matter more if it was like hardcover or paperback?
Gunpowder. I just hear... My mother had raped me over 40...
Is he reading something? Or... Oh, is he reading something or is he being for real? What? Because it's heavy? I don't know, man. Have you ever read like a Bible before? I feel like those pages are super thin. Okay, a couple more links. What is this?
And, you know, I actually
Why are you
don't
linking me things
have
about Putin?
real family in Russia who don't love Putin. The only people who write to me about Putin and not liking him are like sort of activists who are young, right? But like, to me, they're strangers. I don't know anything about them. The people I do know who have a big family in Russia, they love Putin.
Do they miss elections?
Wait, hold on. I'm so sorry. Wait,
not liking him are like sort of only real family in Russia presidency. He was the popular choice, and sometimes by far. And, you know, I actually don't have real family in Russia who don't love Putin. The only people who write to me about Putin and not liking him are like sort of activists who are young, right? But like, to me, they're strangers. I don't know anything about them. The people I do know who have a big family in Russia, they love Putin.
Do they miss elections? Would they want the choice to prove it at the ballot box? Or are they so in love with him that they wouldn't want to take a chance that someone might vote him out?
No, they don't think of it this way. And they are aware of the incredible bureaucracy and corruption that is lurking in the shadows, which is true in Russia.
Right.
Is he going to do the propaganda line, which is, it's true everywhere, though?
Everywhere. But like, there's something about the Russian, it's the remnants. Corruption is so deeply part of the Soviet system that even the overthrow of the Soviet, the breaking apart of the Soviet Union and Putin coming and reforming a lot of the system, it's still deeply in there. And they're aware of that. That's part of the love for Putin is partially grounded in the fear of what happens when the corrupt take over, the greedy take over. And they see Putin as the stabilizer, as like a hard force that says...
A counterforce.
That get your shit together. Like basically, from the Western perspective, Putin is terrible. But from the Russian perspective, Putin is the only thing holding this thing together before it goes, if it collapses. Now, people
are saying... Everybody in chat is mad because I'll hate Lex now. This doesn't sound impossible to me, though. This doesn't sound impossible. That you have people who are living in a certain regime who prefer it because at least it offers some semblance of stability and functioning society versus like an utter and total collapse that could happen afterwards, especially when you add in all the propaganda and everything from this doesn't sound like the most shocking take in the world.
Garry Kasparov has been loud on this. You know, a lot of people from the Western perspective say, well, if it has to collapse, let it collapse. You know,
that's easier said than done when you don't have to live through that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so anyone worrying about their family, and they also remember the inflation and the economic instability and the suffering and the starvation that happened in the 90s with the collapse of the Soviet Union. And they saw the kind of reform and the economic vibrancy that happened when Putin took power, that they think like, this guy's holding it together. And they see elections as potentially being mechanisms by which the corrupt people can manipulate the system unfairly, as opposed to letting the people speak with their voice. They somehow figure out a way to manipulate the elections to elect somebody like one of them Western revolutionaries. And so I think like
what Russia does in other countries. Wait, fuck. Hold on. Let me see what Nathan's flight leaves. Okay, fuck. All right. Fuck, okay. I got this and this. What is this real quick?
Skeptical as possible. But I will also say, in no way did that affect my content at all, period, zero, nor was I asked to, which was the bizarre part of it. But I would rather leave it at that.
Which is the bizarre part of it.
I looked into it a pretty good amount, and I read the indictment and everything.
Yeah.
And it seemed, and I watched a ton of media too, from people on the left, people on the right. Like,
Sure.
I know David Pakman was talking about it. Sam Cedar was talking about it. I watched a Legal Eagle video on it, which I thought was really good. And it truly did seem like you had no idea. And
Well, that's the thing. Even the DOJ sent me an email a few days later saying that we believe you're the victim of a crime here. I wasn't accused of anything. Actually, the funny part about it was, and I said this to Megan, so it's worth repeating if you guys want to talk about it. The funny thing is, I'm so used to reading dishonest things about myself. If the New York Times ever writes about me, it's dishonest.
This is a finance show, the Iced Coffee Hour. You guys couldn't... How much money? Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe we'll watch all of this. Fuck it. What is this? Okay. The Luigi stuff. As a fan of Destiny, I really feel like he's missing the mark on these tweets. But here are some simple counters I could come up with off the top of my head. But Luigi comes from a rich family and experienced none of these problems. Being rich doesn't mean someone can't be affected by systemic issues or personal struggles. Well, if it's a personal struggle, then it doesn't really make sense for you to take it out of the system, right? And if it is a systemic issue that's relating to wealth, it would be kind of weird to imagine a wealthy person suffering from that systemic issue. But if you're communicating with professors and have good grades, I don't know how people struggle with finding work. Okay. Luigi had chronic pain and mental health challenges, which don't magically go away with money. Okay, but then that has nothing to do with our healthcare system. And he's just a crazy person who killed somebody. He's a lunatic. Plus, people can be angry at the system even if it doesn't directly screw them over. Well, it doesn't sound like you're saying it screwed them over at all. Reducing this to, he's rich so it doesn't matter, feels incredibly simplistic. You basically just said that, though, but in more words. Even if I assume everything you're saying is true, he had chronic pain, mental health challenges, they couldn't go away no matter how much money he paid, then why take it out on a random person who's part of the healthcare system? Trump and his supporters are anti-American scum. Why would I care what happens at a Trump fan meetup when he's discussing anti-American propaganda lies? So systemic problems only matter when you like the people they hurt. What? That's a weird moral line to draw. Wait, this has nothing to do with a systemic issue. That's a weird moral line. If systemic failures are worth criticizing, and they are, they don't stop being valid because the person affected is rich, poor, or a Trump supporter. Either we care about the system or we're just picking teams. I don't understand how this relates to that statement at all. A CEO is just a worker, yes, a highly paid worker, but a worker nonetheless. Yeah, and I'm just a guy, right? But if I walked into a room and could decide whether everyone got a raise or got laid off, I'm not just a guy anymore. You understand that you're describing like every single supervisor, or at the very least, every single manager ever, right? CEOs aren't clocking in and out and complaining about their boss in the break room. Let's not play pretend here. Are we just talking about people complaining about bosses now, or what do we... Okay. Why do leftists think CEO equals company owner? The critique is that CEOs act on behalf of owners and shareholders, reaping massive rewards while enforcing exploitative policies. Yeah, but this is basically every single employee of a company. No? They might not own the company, but they play a key role in maintaining systems of inequality. It's splitting hairs instead of engaging with the actual argument. The argument that you should be able to kill anybody involved. So like every single like the person that actually denies the claim, could I kill that person then? And we would be like, okay with that as long as the shooter is hot and white? The entire structure of a corporation is such that it can circumvent what would otherwise be societal norms, morals, and values in pursuit of the fiduciary responsibility of shareholders. What? That's not the entire structure of a corporation, but okay. It's a main feature, or it's a feature, it's the main feature. How? What is a corporation magically allowed to circumvent morally that a sole proprietorship or an individual can't? And it should be no surprise that a corporation has no obligation to act morally, and those with increased power in a corporation are in fact incentivized to act immorally if it honors their obligation to the shareholders. You can't just ignore this moral argument. The entire healthcare problem can be viewed this way because corporations are bound by their agreement to their shareholders. They forego any moral decision making because doctors primarily have a moral obligation to help people. The Hippocratic Oath. What do you think this is? What do people think? Do people think the Hippocratic Oath is like, I swear to God, from the moment I walk out of med school, I'm going to dedicate my life to morally treating every single person I find to the best of my abilities to like, what? What is the full? Why would you ever have a website that? I swear by Apollo the physician and Asclepius, Jesus, the surgeon, likewise hygiene. Is this what they really read right now? And call all the gods and goddesses to witness, and that I will observe and keep this underwritten oath to the utmost of my power and judgment. Where's KKMD? I will reverence my master who taught me the art. Equally with my parents, will I allow him things necessary for his support, and will consider his sons as brothers. I will teach them my art without reward or agreement, and I will impart all of my acquirement, instructions, and whatever. Wait, where's KKMD? Is this do you read all this shit? What the fuck? What is the current Hippocratic Oath? Okay. By all that I hold highest, I promise my patients competence, integrity, candor, personal commitment to their best interest, compassion and absolute discretion, and confidentiality within the law. I shall do by my patients as I would be done by, shall obtain consultation whenever I or they desire, shall include them to the extent they wish in all important decisions, and shall minimize suffering whenever a cure cannot be obtained. Understand that a dignified death is an important goal in everyone's life. There's like 50 violations, like if we look right at the fucking outset of this, right? So, shall obtain consultation whenever I or they desire. Really? So if I go to any physician and I'm like, I need 20 x-rays right now because of my desire, are they really going to do that? No, obviously not. Shall include them to the extent they wish in all important decisions. Shall minimize suffering whenever a cure cannot be obtained. That's where the opioids came from, baby. Baby! Understanding that a dignified death is an important goal in everyone's life. Do we even have that in the US? Is assisted suicide even legal here? I shall try to establish a friendly relationship with my patients and shall accept, House didn't do that, I got him. I shall accept each one in a non-judgmental manner, appreciating the validity and worth of different value systems and according to each person a full measure of human dignity. I shall charge only for my professional services and shall not profit financially in any other way as a result of the advice and care I render my patients. This is basically saying you won't take bribes, basically, right? I shall charge only for my professional services. Yeah, they charge a lot. I shall provide advice and encouragement for my patients to their efforts to sustain their own health. Okay. I shall work with my profession to improve the quality of medical care and to improve the public health, but I shall not let any lesser public or professional consideration interfere with my primary commitment to provide the best and most appropriate care available to each of my patients. To the extent that I live by these precepts, I shall be a worthy physician. What is the point of... Because doctors primarily have a moral obligation to help people. And corporations have a de facto obligation to act immorally. If acting morally would put a fiduciary burden on the company, there is an inherent conflict in a for-profit healthcare system. What a interesting way to arrive at that conclusion. I don't see what the argument is here, but I agree with everything you said. Based. Aren't there doctors that refuse to do abortions? Doesn't that violate the Hippocratic Oath? The first one is so true. I grew up in a wealthy family, but I had tons of mental health issues, and my brothers, tons of physical. My father was on the phone with health insurance companies multiple times per month and sometimes per week, arguing with these companies because they were constantly rejecting various treatments for either of us. The companies in the US are so bad that anyone of any wealth will hate dealing with them. Is it less stressful for a rich person? Yeah, multiple times we just paid out of pocket for something and then argued it back later. what all were you arguing for? Tons of mental health issues, and my brother tons of physical issues. Okay. Wait, what? Don't you agree with that take that a company's job is to the shareholders and not to be morally good? Yeah, but the idea that they would prioritize like acting immorally, like I mean, like if you disagree with, first of all, this is no contradiction to an individual as well. Like an individual is typically trying to maximize how much money they make too. So there's nothing unique about a corporation there. I'm sorry, hold on. Sorry, this guy's trying to mindfuck me. They said acting immorally, if acting morally would mean less profits. Yeah, but like at that point, I mean, like if there's a behavior that you don't want to happen, then you should try to legislate against it. Because what you even mean when you say acting immorally or acting morally there, like what exactly are we talking about? Like, this is the, like, I hate that this even sounds bad because this is like a fucking, this is like a retard trap. People assume, I think probably 60% of you guys assume every single denial is literally just a healthcare company being evil but that's not how any of this works. It's just like, it's a retard trap. Like if a healthcare company's, or if an insurer is denying something, it's because they were just evil and they want somebody to die or suffer. And that like, that's every single denial. And it's just like, if somebody's doing something that's like illegal, then you legislate against it and you change the system, you change the regulations, you change whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, like that's, a single mother with a child with CF. What does this stand for? Not cerebral palsy. What is CF? Child with CF. Cystic fibrosis. So she and or the kid go without necessary, doesn't have the time to do arguing, so she doesn't have time or go broke. Medical costs are the #1 factor for folks dropping out of the middle class. Why not link a source for that? That's like a big statement. Why not just link a source for that? I mean, I'm not arguing that. I'm just agreeing that destiny is wrong, that being wealthy doesn't mean the system can't fuck you until you get to a certain point. So what is that change we're even advocating for here? I don't even understand if it's not a money issue then, and is it just the fact that it's a private company? Like, again, even Medicare and Medicaid have denials. Like, I don't understand what we're even arguing for now. Okay. But the way certain CEOs tend to fulfill their role is through cost cutting and other negative and predatory methods, which is what United was known for. Can't you also like raise more revenue by selling a better product too? Is that just impossible? That's like, you can't even consider that, right? An example of this is Blue Cross telling the fucking doctors how much anesthesia they could use during a surgery, and they instantly cut that shit out. Oh yeah, like this is a stupid example. It's not even like a... Okay. Also, Destiny's saying that he JS pays $400 to $500 for his Vyvanse out of pocket and doesn't see what that has to do with insurance is pretty funny, but maybe missing the point. I don't know what this has to do with insurance. Okay. How much is it with insurance? I don't know, but somebody tried to own me with that. They were like, I bet you'd feel differently if insurance companies didn't help you with your Vyvanse or something. I was like, I pay out of pocket for that. What does that even have to do with anything? I don't. Most CEOs do in fact have a substantial stake in the company. Is that even true? I feel like that's probably not true. Unless maybe, I mean, if you include all the small businesses, it's probably true because the CEO probably tends to be the owner. But they have substantially more ownership than most individual shareholders. That's probably true, but like CEOs can be fired. I mean, they are fired or traded out all the time, but by Destiny's argument, anyone who has a 401k is part of the owner class because they own parts of a business. This has to be his dumbest take yet. That's, yes, owning, yeah. Gains in your 401k would be exploitation of labor by a Marxist definition. Yes. Owning stock in a company is literally what makes you part of an owning class. Yes, this is capitalism. And this would be the exploitation of labor. Where is the additional value coming from in your 401k? It's coming from the profits, basically, that are generated by the laborer, by the worker. Your 401k is capital that you own. Yes, definitionally so. Why does it have 24 upvotes on my fucking subreddit? You fucking morons. That's literally what it is. Thank you. Well, yes. Oh, 3 upvotes. Get fucked. Well, actually, yes, according to the Marxism, according to Marxism, that's technically true. I think a point Destiny is trying to make is how silly and out-of-date Marxism is for our current economy. A rich CEO with a high income and no stocks or capital would technically be a proletariat, while a low-wage worker with stocks owns capital, so they're part of the bourgeois. They're not like super bougie, right? I mean, it's not like they own enough to survive off of for the rest of their life, or they own like whole parts of a company, but I don't think back in Marx's day, it's probably not that common, my guess, that an ordinary laborer also owned parts of the company as well, right? No, there is quite fucking obviously a difference between getting 0.001% share in Publix because you worked there for 10 years versus owning a huge portion or a majority or all the shares of a business. How many CEOs even own a majority of their business? Like for large companies? The amount of wealth, influence, and direct power within and downstream from the business is vastly different. And it's bad faith, debate, dishonesty to say, well, technically they're the same thing. Then just be clear about what you're talking about. Elon? Does Elon Musk even own over 50% of Tesla? I thought that's why, weren't they talking about ousting him as the CEO? How could they do that if he has 51% of the voting rights? Keep in mind also that voting rights and ownership could be different things. So like, for instance, I think Mark Zuckerberg owns like 15% of Facebook, but I think he owns almost 60% of the stock that allows him to vote, like Class B versus Class A shares. So you can have a smaller ownership while still having like more of the voting rights. The whole point of this also, by the way, like I'm not even making the claim that CEOs don't get paid or that their compensation might not be tied to the appreciation of the value of the company or anything else. But like, I mean, like technically every employee is tied to the success of the company too. If a company is really successful, you're probably going to get or hire like people at higher wages. You're probably going to pay more for workers if you've got like a more successful company, right? And also if the company like starts to lose a bunch of money, they're probably going to fire people too. So like it's not as direct in terms of owning, in terms of like owning stock or having huge ownership percentages. Everybody in chat can spam not true, okay? But there's a reason why people want to work for the most successful companies in the United States and not work for Joe Schmo's random fuck shack, okay? You can say not true if you want, but that's the fucking reality of the situation, okay? Like, actually, just because a company's successful doesn't mean they pay more wages. That's why instead of working at Amazon, I actually work at IT for Joe's Joe's Clock Shop because they actually pay me way more than shitty companies like Apple would. Okay. He's saying both sides should have full consequences for their action. But if we're discussing about whether someone should receive sympathy, you feel so out of touch to argue that the person you didn't have sympathy for actually didn't deserve it anyway, while the people these it. Oh my God. Remember this sub simping his tweet about a fucking fireman getting shot, but now a CEO with some actual power and influence over people's lives. And what? Show me what he did that was wrong. It's like he worked in healthcare. Okay, whatever. Okay, good times. I didn't realize Destiny hated watchmakers. I hate watches. Because I have an iWatch. Okay. I'm gonna go take Nathan to the airport. I don't know. No idea how long this will take. I love you guys. Be careful. Do I have anything upcoming planned? Nope, get fucked, nerds. Oh, we debate this Luigi thing on the 29th. Oh, fucking joy. On a Wix stream. Can't you just send him out with an Uber? Using Uber Kids? True. We're getting back to trying normal stream times like on the 1st. It's going to be a rough week, okay? But I love you. Be careful. Stay safe. Don't die. Take a deep breath. We're all going to make it.